Now, time has almost beaten us on the show. However, talking of incredible puns, we're going to discuss one more story. A headline is Bear Traffic Control. So, I'm going to read that out again. Bear Traffic Control. Virgin reunites best friends after search. This sounds like the kind of hard-hitting investigative journalism we are known for. Jake, talk us through this.
Oh yeah, look, this was a really tough investigation. I had to meet several people in car parks.
Yes.
Under the cloak of darkness.
Under the cloak of darkness. My contact was known only to me as Deep Jet. So this was a very tough investigation. But we have pulled it out. We have learned this story of how Virgin Australia has reunited a little boy named Harry with his teddy bear in Perth.
What happened? Well, so he left his teddy bear on the plane.
He left his teddy bear on the plane.
Rookie error.
Absolutely.
Don't leave your bear on the plane.
Yeah. Harry won't make that mistake again.
He will. Well, he's very small, so he might. But he left his teddy bear on the plane, and so Virgin flight crew. Cabin crew found the teddy bear, and they put out a call on Facebook saying, if you, well, I'll quote, they said, we're sure there's a very upset little one at home missing their furry friend. If you've flown into Perth recently and seem to have lost one of your pack while travelling, this cuddly bear has been on quite the adventure and is ready for a snuggle with its best friend. Now, I should say that flown and bear were in fact an airplane emoji and a bear emoji, but I think you get the drift. Anyway, this search on Facebook, it attracted more than 1,000 comments and more than 1,600 shares, and it took less than a day for the owner to come forward, and so young Harry on Monday afternoon was reunited with his teddy bear. After the teddy bear did have a chance to get a bit of a tour of the plane, the teddy bear was posed in a Virgin scarf, in front of the seats. It was allowed to sit in a jump seat. It was put on the controls, which you'd have to think would be a safety hazard if it was in the air. Bears are notoriously bad at flying planes. It was also, posed looking out the window and all that. But it's a very sweet story, I think.
Customer service at its best.
I was going to ask you about that. Now, it was a genuinely very kind and sweet gesture. I know I'd have had it on eBay straight away. Every cent counts. But you, for those who may be unfamiliar, Chris has done every single job in aviation, bar fly the plane. But Chris rose to be cabin crew manager and worked that job for many, many years. You must have found things that were left behind in the plane. You must have some stories of the like to tell.
I've seen many things left behind on an aeroplane.
That would be appropriate for this podcast and the family audience.
Yeah, family audience. Look, I've found many a thing left on a plane, and where possible, we try and find it as quick as possible, run into the terminal to see if we can find the passenger. If not, we give the most detailed description to the ground staff of what the passenger looked like, what they were wearing, anything we can remember, seat number, where it was found, anything like that. And to the full credit of the ground team, they do always try and reunite person with lost object. But some random things I've had left behind, a wedding dress.
How'd you forget that?
I have no idea, but...
Even harder if you were wearing it at the time.
That marriage wasn't going to last, is it?
No, it was off to a turbulent start. But yeah, we had a wedding dress left behind in an overhead locker. We've had wallets, mobile phones, iPads, laptops. There's a whole plethora.
Small children?
Yeah. Potentially. Big children, most definitely.
Any cursed objects?
I did have one scary object once where we were like, oh, should we touch this? Should we move it? Or should we call the police? We were really in doubt.
You've got to tell us what it was now, Chris.
No, I can't, unfortunately, because it turned out to be something a bit more serious. But it left us scratching our heads going, oh, what do we do here? Is this lost or is this something more sinister?
Anything like a haunted doll?
We did have this creepy looking voodoo-y looking thing once. The family that were reunited with it claimed it was a Day of the Dead doll.
And after you handed it back to them, did you then return to the plane and find it sitting in the seat?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Well, I would say very well done.
Very well done.
Very well done to
There we
the
go.
cabin crew. A lovely gesture.
Yeah.
We love those kind of
Hats
stories.
off to Virgin. That's like
Yeah.
that's a good news, good PR story, and credit to them for going that extra mile. But also actually having fun with it as well. So
And we've got a picture here of Harry reunited with his bear. He doesn't. No, I'm going to say. I was going to say he doesn't look
he
that
didn't
happy.
look that thrilled in
To
the
be
picture,
honest,
did he?
like,
He
a
was
lot
more
of people
like,
gone to a lot of trouble to get that bear back.
What are they making me do?
They did way more than the bare minimum on this.
Oh god.